Hey, Jazz, can you just talk about what the transfer process was like for you and what ultimately guided you to Tallahassee?
The transfer process was pretty hectic. I'm not gonna lie. It's just when I finally chose Tallahassee, it was more of a out of the love and interest into the specifics. As far as ball play.
Right, next will be Jerry Cutts from the Osceola.
Welcome. Um, when you were at South Carolina, what were some of the thoughts you had about leaving, and what was it you were looking for to accomplish the next school you went to?
My thoughts looking towards my next school were more like the thoughts of focusing on my craft as far as a player, as far as the offensive lineman, more attention to detail, more attention to technique, and I seen that Coach Atkins had a very good repertoire to give me, a lot more tools to pick from, and I seen that he had his eyes on not just the strengths, he also had his eyes on the weaknesses. So.
This will be Matt Marshall from the Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, good morning, Jazz. I wanted to ask about that. What was the pitch maybe that Florida State gave to you to maybe when you started showing interest in coming to Tallahassee? And who was kind of was Coach Atkins the main guy that really kind of reached out to you?
Yeah, it pretty much was him along with Coach Norvell. It was more of it was no pitch. It was no, in the process of being your final year in college football, you don't really look for I guess the butt kissers. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to cuss, but the butt kissers. You don't look for them. You look for the people who are paying attention to detail, who's telling you that, hey, these are your problems. This is how we're gonna fix it. So it was more like that struck my interest upon the coaching.
And next will be Ira Schofel from Warchant.
Hey man, just listening to you talk, I mean, you're obviously a little bit older, more mature than maybe some of these guys on this team. What is that like now, growing a team as an adult? You're not a 17 or 18-year-old kid. And how does that change your perspective coming into this?
It changes your perspective a lot. As a youngin coming into college football, you're like, oh man, glitz and glamour and the fans and no. But when you're older, it's like, what is this coach's background? What does he have to offer to me? Where are the NFL connections? Where's more experience? Like when you're older, you're into your craft more. You're worried about you're really paying attention to detail. Like it's true detail when you're older, and you're looking for lifelong friends, not just football. It's not just a football life when you're older. It's more about who you know in this world and not what you know.
Next will be Matt Baker from Tampa Bay Times.
What's your assessment of the offensive line room you're walking into, the talent and potential there?
Man, it's a whole lot of talent and potential in there, man. It kind of really made me happy that I was welcomed in there with no problem, no hassle. It was a lot of love being in college football. When you're transferring from different schools to different schools, it's kind of like you have to earn your way, earn your respect, and because you're a new guy. But it was more like you're welcomed, but learn how we learn. So it's more of a humbling. I mean, I'm already humble myself if I don't say myself. It's more of a humbling experience to know that there's other people out there that learn different ways, who's able to obtain so much knowledge just as much as you are. And there are older guys in the room, and I respect them just as much. But at this point, I'm just trying to gain respect amongst the room. Show them that I know things just as much as they do.
All right, next will be Brendan Simone from Knowles 247.
Hey, Jazz, you've mentioned a couple times that this coaching staff is aware of strengths of yours and weaknesses. So I guess for you, like, what do you view as strengths, elements of your game that you're really comfortable with right now? And I guess what ultimately do you want to work on in this season at Florida State?
As technique wise, I really need to work on personally, my problems are, because I know what my problems are. My strength is run game. I'm a dominant nature in run game, but I know where my weakness lies, which is in pass protection. Coach Atkins has offered me different theories and different tools to I guess, really properly coach pass protection at its finest, and that's what I really need, and that's what kind of really brought me to Tallahassee. You know, it was just the love of the attention to detail from him, and so many different tools and methods to do one job. It's kind of like, here's the tool shed, you do what you want to do, you know? So.
Next will be Aslan Hajavandi from Warchant.
Jazston. I mean, I guess, obviously we pointed out the fact that you're, a little bit more of a senior member of this program. I mean, this kind of is it for you. I mean, this is like your last go around to accomplish your hopes and dreams. I mean, how confident do you feel that, the 20 or whatever preseason practices will be enough for you to kind of demonstrate to the staff that you can be relied upon, because obviously you want to get on the field as soon as possible, I assume?
I feel very confident. Very confident. And at the end of the day, it's all it is just transferring terminology, from somewhere, I guess being this old. I've seen so many different offenses. I've seen so many different coaching staff, so many different methods, so many techniques. And all it is just at the end of the day, can you translate? Can you truly translate terminology? Because all it is just different names, different plays maybe, but just different names at the end of the day. So I see a lot more value here, and I hope to, I guess, in words, convince the coaches that I am worth what I am. But if it all comes down to it, I'm here to help regardless.
All right, we'll go back to Jerry Cooks.
You mentioned weaknesses, things that you want to work on. And one of your obvious strengths is you're tall and you're a big man. But sometimes that can work against you.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about, playing low, leverage, moving your feet, those kinds of things. Are those areas that you and Alex have talked about that you could work on, improve on?
There's always room for improvement. I really don't see much problem in those areas, but as like my father always said, you have to be a sponge in this world. So I'm never gonna shy away from new methods, new techniques, and no matter where, if it's a strength or a weakness. If anything, you can always get stronger. So.
We'll go to Perry from Tomahawk Nation.
You've mentioned a few times, like, wanting to prove to either the coaching staff or your teammates that you've got it, like, that you're worth it. Where do you think that comes from? Like, obviously, actions over words, but where are you looking to prove that you're worth it? Like, on the field, in the weight room, like, how are you going to be able to put that together?
Most likely, it's not really more of a I'm proving to everyone. It's more of a, I'm proving to myself. Because at the end of the day, you're facing yourself. You're facing self-doubt amongst yourself. At the end of the day, you're really, it's 1v1. You're facing yourself. So I'm not really proving to anyone because everyone's seen my track record. It's more like, hey, I'm here now, but I can show you that I can be better, So I don't have a problem proving myself in the weight room or on the field. It's more like me versus me.
We'll go back to Ira Schafel.
I know you guys obviously played different positions, different sides of the ball, but how well did you know Jamie back in South Carolina, and what were your conversations like during this process?
Jamie, man, he's just a ball of energy, man. He really brings the life to the field, man. He really brings the challenge out of you, man. And when I got here, he kind of, I guess, showed me the ropes and showed me who to stick by, and it was more of a extra welcome. It was more of an extra welcome to see another fellow teammate from a previous institution to be here, and it was it made me happy to see his growth and his performance and how much love that he received once he even got here from a different institution. So I guess he's kind of, even though he's smaller than me, taking me under his wing.
I'll go back to Chris Nee with Knowles 247.
When you came a couple weeks ago and got to work out in with Coach Atkins, how beneficial was that for you, just to get a feel for how he operates, what it would be like for you if you did end up working under him?
Oh, man, that workout was it was great. I just asked for a little workout because I need to stay in shape, during the time period. But that workout it showed me that it was more like really detailed. It was really like, it wasn't just see ball, get ball. It was more like, hey, your foot should be this way. Your drive blocking should be 45 degrees. It was more practicing the details and technique than, hey, just go block the guy,
We'll go back to Jerry Cooks.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Are you must be close to a degree, or are you already completed with a degree? What are you going to major in? And just who are you and what are you all about?
It's a great question, man. So I love art. I love music. I love being creative, and I love the mindset of focus. I love people, and as far as my degree, I've changed my major. So I used to be art and technological design. Now I'm into social sciences. I've obtained my AA, and I will be obtaining my bachelor's this coming December in social sciences. But as far as that, from the people aspect, I love people, man. I love making sure people are okay. So me being addition into this school would be great because I'm here for just the people. I'm not here out of a selfish aspect. I'm here for the people at the end of the day too, because these are your teammates. This will be your brethren. These will be people that you're fighting with in the fall. To press forward for ultimate goal.
We'll go back to Perry.
You talk about the social studies, the aspect of people. You played that into your leadership part, and then part two, alternate timeline, football not on the table. What does a professional future look like for you?
Well, outside of football, I've always been loving. I've always been into real estate and for children. Like I've always wanted to, I guess, put my money towards financial investment amongst real estate, rebuilding homes for lower income people, or house flipping, or at least owning. I want to put my name on an apartment complex one day. I want to put my name on a rehabilitation center. I've grew up in hard times where I went to school with children and people who could not even feed themselves, who relied on lunch to be their dinner. So I've always wanted to help people in that situation. So outside of football, that's what I want to do.
All right, we'll go back to Ira.
You mentioned pass protection, and obviously, due to the SEC, there's some big-time pass rushers. How did that experience prepare you and help make you better?
It takes loss to grow. Truthfully, it really takes losing to learn from your mistakes. So coming into the SEC, man, it was just strength, speed, power, everything. Everything was strength, speed, power. And it forces you to grow faster, learn faster, adapt faster. Because if you don't, then you fall, then you crumble, So in that, I really appreciate the times I had in the SEC to really make me adapt to the speed of the edge,